truly love each other.
And you just can't explain it. You just have to listen to the people around him talk about it.
Final seconds here on senior night, and it'll turn into championship night. The Spartans have clinched a share of the Big Ten title. What a night for Michigan State as the players savor those final moments. Maybe a banner going up to the rafters. 81-61 for Fran Fraschilla, for Molly McGrath. Dave Fleming saying so long. Super Tuesday continues. Kentucky and Arkansas coming up now.
Thank you, Flem. Joe Tessitore, Sean Farnham, Laura Rutledge with you here for intriguing back end to Super Tuesday. And a tough spot for Kentucky here at Arkansas, where the Hawks are 14-1 at home this year. Jalen Barford got the night started with a 3-ball. He's averaging 18.6 per game. Let's say hello to Laura.
Hey there, Joe. And Jalen Barford said it would be a dream come true to beat Kentucky tonight, something he's never done in his entire career here at Arkansas. Here in the trough, the student section, they're hoping to contribute. This quote was passed out to everybody here. It says, "You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that you just don't." It's from John Calipari. This student section, the rest of the fans, guys, hoping they factor in.
Well, they're loving that from Daryl Macon.
The timeout by Coach Cal. Their first 2 possessions test, they got 2 offensive fouls. Their first 2 possessions on defense, they let the 2 best players for the Razorbacks wind up and knock down wide open threes.
Macon had 20 points this past weekend against A&M. He has scored 20 or more in 8 of the last 9. And they have been calling those Hogs with 4 straight wins. Hottest team in the SEC. "14-1 in front of these fans with an average margin of victory here at Bud Walton of over 17. From the corner. And the rebound, Gabriel. Second chance, SGA. Arkansas starting 5 with the senior leadership in the backcourt, and then the sensational freshman 6'11" Daniel Gafford in the middle.
Test last 3 games, averaging close to 18 points per contest as Gafford. It's made a huge difference for Arkansas.
Macon from the corner. Tracked down that time by Dustin Thomas.
Coach Cal,
here is Gafford. His first look on the inside, and he will draw the foul. They'll be charged on Nick Richards. 3 team fouls on Kentucky early on here.
And substitutions come into play because of a lack of effort. I mean, just watching Arkansas beat him to a 50-50 ball for an offensive rebound to regain an opportunity to score here.
As Hami Diallo takes a seat. Macon, long 3. Tapped around, and another second chance as Thomas secured the offensive rebound. And again tracking it down for Arkansas. Macon, money. What a start for the Razorbacks.
That was just great relocation. After he dumped the ball to the high post, he just spaced out.
Gilgeous-Alexander was off the mark. Tracked down by Beard.
This place is going to explode if they score here, Tess.
Right on the verge of it. Beard probing baseline, was locked up and then knocked away. it'll stay with Arkansas.
Well, with rebounding issues, Coach Cal goes to the bench and brings in Jared Vanderbilt, who this week he compared a little bit to Dennis Rodman in his ability to impact the game, rebounding the basketball.
Did a very good job on the glass against Alabama. Had 5 offensive rebounds in just 19 minutes this past Saturday. Barford rattled out. Look at Thomas hit the glass and the putback.
It's really hard to win on the road test against a really good team when you don't bring toughness. And in the early stages of this game, the Wildcats have not been up to the challenge. You go 2 possessions ago, they enter the ball into the high post, a relocation. See that little spacing out to the corner makes the run out a little bit longer. It freed up Macon, allowed him to knock it down. What a start for the Razorbacks.
0 for 5 shooting Kentucky. They've missed their 3 three-point attempts. Here's Knox. Tip-in won't go as well. Barford on the run.
And they made that one a little bit too hard.
DJ Washington now. Much needed. After they open up 11-0 does Arkansas. Kentucky on the board. Thomas couldn't connect. Up ahead, Knox, as he was fouled. Three early threes for Arkansas. A lot of energy, a lot of momentum here at Bud Walton Arena.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
Joe and Sean with you for Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile, part of the SEC on ESPN. The senior dynamic duo in the backcourt for Arkansas. Barford making 9 of their first 11 points tonight.
Usually this time of year we're talking about Kentucky players in the mix for SEC Conference Player of the Year awards. This year it's the 2 guys from Arkansas. Jalen Barford, they do it a different way. Barford's much better from beyond the arc this season, but his strength is still getting downhill, attacking, initiating contact, and being able to finish. Meanwhile, Daryl Macon, we've already seen it already. Silky smooth from beyond the arc. He ranks in the top 10 in 7 different categories. And in his home games here in the SEC, he's averaging close to 20 points per contest. He's off to a great start here tonight with 6 early points.
Both in the top 4 in the SEC in scoring. They're the highest scoring duo in the SEC.
These 2 guys, experience, and that's been the storyline, I think, all season long for the SEC test. It has been experienced teams.
Planning for Success is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
You look for Kentucky composure with the crowd noise. They've not handled that or Arkansas's pressure well in the early stage of this game. Arkansas, meanwhile, has been the aggressive. They've got to be able to do it for a full 40, though, tonight.
Guys, Coach Cal in that Kentucky huddle saying that Nick Richards has got to do a better job of guarding Jalen Barford. He said he shouldn't be wide open for threes. He's going to make them. Also for Kentucky, he's saying we've had 3 wide open threes. We didn't make them, but you guys are fine. We need some of those shots to go in. I need you to stay consistent with that 3.
Coach Cal was really encouraging Nick Richards today at the shoot-around, saying, hey, you're going to have a big game, Nick. They want to talk about their big guy. How about we talk about you? Let's see if that comes to fruition. What a nice feed from Daniel Gafford. Another dimension from the Arkansas big man.
The back line of the defense stepped up, and nobody, in Tess, I mean nobody, was down low on the block.
Osaboyan was able to finish there. And the feed from Washington to Vanderbilt for the Cats. Inside Gafford. Got Vanderbilt to go up.
Gafford's size and his composure as a freshman, he's continued to develop throughout the course of the season, Tess.
He has been excellent lately.
I saw him back at the PK 80 during Feast Week, and I thought he was good. But, you know, there were some question marks of consistency and understanding philosophically what Mike Anderson wants to do, and that has all changed in the second half of the SEC.
5 straight games scoring in double figures, and during that stretch, shooting over 70%. Thompson puts it down.
Do you see the difference in quality of shot? I mean, that is a wide open free throw line extended jump shot for Thompson. Kentucky's got to do a better job reacting, rotating, and closing out.
Quade Green, as he's able to connect. He played well in the skid-snapping win against Alabama. And no turnovers in 31 minutes of action. Set the pace offensively in the first half. Finished with 12 points. A couple three-pointers. Had 4 assists this weekend. From the corner. Short rim that time, Jones, but Thompson cleans things up. He has 4 points.
That's 5 offensive rebounds already in this game for Arkansas. And it's 7 second chance points. Look at this, watch the drive. The defense completely collapses. Nobody even sprints to close out. Nobody puts a hand up. Mike Anderson knows that's a really good look for his team. And then his last possession, where's the box out? Who's putting a body on Trey Thompson? Back-to-back possessions, nobody even touches him.
Look at the offensive rebounds for Arkansas already tonight. 7 second chance points for the Hogs. Gilgeous-Alexander probing and then picks up his dribble. And Knox took a step.
Well, right now, Kentucky's just pressing, Tess. And this becomes an issue at times for Kentucky. You're trailing early. Do you try to do too much on your own, or do you trust the offense in the flow? Can you give the ball up and know that you're going to get it back, or do you look to play isolation one-on-one basketball? And for Coach Cal's team, when they play on an island, they start to struggle, and it starts to impact this end of the floor as well.
Saboyan lost the handle.
Great hands by Washington.
Here's Diallo.
It's
pushed off as he was trying to make his way through the paint. And that is 2 on Hami.
Hami Diallo came back this year after testing the waters in the NBA, and the expectations were so high for the redshirt freshman. And he just tries to do too much, and that goes back to what I was just alluding to. He works as hard as anybody on this roster. We show up, he's the last guy to leave the gym consistently. He's always putting in extra work. But you got to let the game just come to you. With his athleticism, his ability to spin off the defensive player, explode to the iron, finish. He doesn't need to push off. Coach Cal still talking to him.
Green for 3.
That's good ball movement for Kentucky. And Quade Green, 6 of the 8, or 6 of the 11, excuse me, for the Cats.
All through the lane. And Vanderbilt with a nice rebound. And then Hall was in his way. Crowd didn't like that, as they saw Vanderbilt skying up over Hall.
Hall goes in for the layup and tries to come back and just gets right underneath Jared Vanderbilt. Well, they can boo. I mean, he backed into the rebounder. That's a foul.
Knox on the go after beating the pressure, and Vanderbilt with the easy cleanup. And all of a sudden, this is just a 4-point margin as Kentucky has settled in. And a turnover. Nope. Hogs get it back. Thompson over to Jones. into the hands of Quade Green.
Quade Green is playing really well right now for Kentucky.
Vanderbilt lost control but was fouled on the floor. Good comeback by the Cats.
Now, they have calmed down ever so slightly, but sometimes you just need to play with some toys to figure out exactly what disruption means for the Hogs here of Arkansas.
I
Mike
can't
Anderson
wait to see this, Farnham.
figures it out.
Here with Mike Anderson, and when you talk about this team, you talk about disruption. That's the big key word for your team, coach. And when you extend out your pressure, what are some of the things you're looking for as the ball looks to be inbounded?
Well, first of all, we're trying to get that ball in that corner with this guy right here. And if we can get these guys that are close in proximity, go get him, go trap him. Now we've got this guy here's got to play this guy here. Obviously, this is the main guy they want to get the ball back to. So he's got to be in position to be able to read and rotate. And as that ball comes up the floor, we got to advance back and really stop the ball in the half court and make it chaotic again.
Well, it gets chaotic in the half court. It gets chaotic on the full court. And sometimes when they catch the ball, it seems like everybody is swarming you. And it's a big part of Arkansas's continued success inside the SEC.
Farnham, you should travel with your own set of Caskey kids. You should have like a carry-on for Caskey kids.
It's good stuff, right?
I like that very much.
Hey, look, and people talk about Mike Anderson, and clearly, you know, this team has struggled on the road, and that's been a big knock. But Mike Anderson, in 15-plus years as a head coach, 0 losing seasons. He's one of just 4 current Division I head coaches to accomplish that. He has a system. It's unorthodox at times because they like to play with freedom. They like to create tempo. They want to get the ball up and down the floor. And when they're able to execute, and we saw that early in this game, it's really dangerous.
How about that? Now a 10-2 run for Kentucky as they close to 2. Laura.
Well, Joe, Mike Anderson not happy with some of the long threes this Arkansas team has attempted. He said, why are we taking 40-foot shots when we have wide open jump shots? He wants to see him get a little closer to the rim.
Laura, to that point, they started 3 for 6 shooting from 3, 0 for 4 since then. And Knox was fouled that time, and Kentucky has closed to just 2.
So much better have the Kentucky Wildcats been in the last 3 minutes of this game. And it starts where, Tess? It starts at the defensive end of the floor. The guys off the bench have continued to step up, 14 of the 15 points. And it starts with Quade Green. 6 points for him. Vanderbilt with 2 offensive rebounds that he's put back in and found the dunk.
Washington. Richards trying to get that second chance, and they will as Green rotates. Knox well off the mark that time. Wednesday, we've got an ACC Sonic Blockbuster doubleheader. First, number 10 North Carolina and Syracuse from the Dome at 7 Eastern. And then from Cameron Indoors, Louisville taking on number 5 Duke.
And Marvin Bagley still day-to-day with that minor left knee sprain.
Carter Jr. has 8 double-doubles in his last 11 games. Shot fake, Barford. Up and in.
That's a three-pointer Mike Anderson's going to like. A little shot fake, step over to the right, clear out space, and get a clean look.
This time, Knox knocks it down.
You see the ball movement, though, for Kentucky, how different it is than it was earlier in the game? Earlier in the game, they're looking to drive that into traffic.
Good feed from Macon, but defensively, P.J. Washington goes up against 6'11" Gafford. And on the other end, Cats get it done. And we are tied up at 20. Quade Green. Barford, step back. Cook taps it. Washington secures it.
Much better defense for Kentucky. Your ability to get stops, and early in this game, Arkansas had everything it wanted. Kentucky wasn't challenging. That was, by the way, that was all wrist. But nevertheless, the officials miss it. Quade Green, who's off to a great start, 3 for 3. He's got 8 points. Able to get open in transition and finish.
Fouls on Nick Richards. He's shooting 1-1, Will Gafford.
Now, this has been an area where Daniel Gafford has struggled on the season, but Tess in the last 2 games, he's 69% from the free throw line. On the year, just 53.
For the year. Sensational freshman from El Dorado, Arkansas. Among freshmen nationally, he's 4th in the country in field goal percentage.
He's been freshman of the week 3 times this year. No other freshman in the conference can say that.
On Arkansas history, only Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly are the other Razorbacks to do that, Sean.
Those 2 guys are making some money right now.
Yeah, well, Daniel Gafford is going to be on that path. I was looking at the ESPN.com NBA mock draft today. They had him up to number 15. This is a guy that no one was thinking of as a one and done just earlier. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, baseline, and puts it through. His first bucket of the night. Inside, Gafford, and he draws the foul.
Well, what happens there is when you're able to post up, Tess, with 2 feet in the middle of the paint, your palm showing to the guard, you're really at the mercy of the offensive player.
2 on Wenyen Gabriel.
Gafford confident at the line, but look at he's got 2 feet deep in the paint. When he gets his feet down there, you're playing from behind, elbows in the back. Easy call for the official.
It's a young man who was 6'7" as a 7th grader, a musician in the church choir, and coaches spotted him, convinced him to play some hoops by the 8th grade. Stayed with the music, though.
Who plays more instruments? Daniel Gafford or Laura Rutledge?
That's a good point.
That's the question that I have.
Well, Gafford goes with the drums. He also plays the clarinet, still active in music with the church choir. I know, Laura, you're a big fan of the hammer dulcimer, right?
The string dulcimer.
Oh, of course, the string dulcimer.
Let's get it right. Yeah, dulcimer,
it's
piano,
the Appalachian
violin.
dulcimer, right?
Yeah, there we go. A little bit of drums myself, but I think I'm not quite as good as him.
Barford, how about it from Jalen Barford, who leads the SEC in scoring average in conference games. He has 8 in this first half. Green. Tap in will go. Vanderbilt with the effort play.
Tess, you mentioned how solid he was on the offensive glass last time out. He's at it once again. That's 3 offensive rebounds, and he has put them all back in for points.
He was critical in that win that they had to have against Alabama. Snapped that losing streak. They had lost 4 straight.
You won't get the bounce from Macon. He let that thing go, and he's just feeling it, Tess.
9 points, long balls tonight for Daryl Macon.
Tess, the best scoring tandem in the SEC is at it once again. The SEC leading scorer, Jalen Barford. Get on the train tracks, get out of his way. He's finishing right down the middle of the lane. And then the silky smooth Daryl Macon from the outside. Gets your feet set. Little step back, little crossover, and then the flare afterwards. Oh, the Hogs are feeling it, Tess.
Taking place. We're hitting 1-on-1, and we're still settling for jump shots. We're shooting 40 feet out. For what? So let's see if we can settle down, okay? The emotion wear out. Let's play some basketball now, okay? All right?
Well, Mike Anderson's team did settle down after they had an 0-4 shooting 3 stretch. They hit their last 2, a 29-24 lead for Arkansas. Kentucky got back into this game with good support from the bench, 18 points from the bench. Green with 8, Vanderbilt with 6, Washington with 4. Lincoln has had the hot hand. Beard, 17-footer, won't go. Fought for it, and Kentucky comes up with it.
Yeah,
Wade Green on the go now.
I didn't like that shot at all. That was a contested, difficult two. You can get that shot at any point in time in a possession. If you're Arkansas, that's what Mike Anderson's talking about. Turn that shot down and find an open one.
Been interesting to see Gilgeous-Alexander and Green in together recently. Knox the miss. Second chance here for the Cats. As Washington trapped. And which way will it go? The other way. Hogs ball. Look on Cal's face says it all.
Tess, you knew this environment was going to be electric tonight. Bud Walton Arena, when it's packed like this, is one of the most special environments in the SEC.
And he was trying to explain it to this young team today at the shoot-around.
The home environment for Arkansas and the level of success in which they had. Tess, you brought it up right away. They are 14-1 this season inside this building.
Look at my man in the pajamas. How can you not be with that kind of support, Farnham? 6 sellout this season. 19,200 here tonight to see the Hawks.
I bought those pajamas earlier today. I bought them for you.
You go with the one-piece footsies, knowing you.
I bought them for you, Tess. I know you're a big one. Onesie. Look at it. And the hat. I got the hat for Laura. I got you the pajamas.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, and you look at the difference between the two. And that thus is life in the SEC this year. It is difficult to go on the road and find wins because of how strong this conference is. But you have to protect home court advantage. You have to protect your court. You have to be able to energize your base and make sure you're getting out of here with wins.
Double bonus for the Hogs. Reminder, you can tip off your weekend with star-studded NBA Friday doubleheader at 8 Eastern. Karl Anthony Towns and the Wolves are in Houston. And then it's the Mavs and the Lakers. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7. Lakers in a unique spot. You got Lonzo Ball's return from the knee injury, and you've got this version of the recently traded for Isaiah Thomas.
It is a weird dynamic because you have two guards, one that inherently wants to pass it, and the other one that needs the ball in his hands and wants to prove to everybody he can score again.
Steps. Turnover. Laura.
Well, Joe, Coach Cal in his last huddle was saying when #1, Trey Thompson for Arkansas, checks back in, you got to pay attention to him. You guys noticed that early on in this game, Kentucky not giving him enough attention. Look for them now to maybe approach him differently.
Thompson has 4 points. He's also a very good passing big man, as we have seen through the years.
Really good job by Vanderbilt fronting the post.
Here he is through the lane, and Gafford was fouled. He will head to the line. That is 2 on Jarrett Vanderbilt.
I mean, sometimes you just miss a shot so poorly that the defense isn't expecting it, and that's exactly what happened on that possession. And to Gafford's credit, he was in the right spot.
Busy night from the stripe for Gafford.
He's 5 of 8 from the free throw line already, Tess. He's the only player on the Hogs to actually attempt a free throw in this game.
Those are all 5 of his points so far.
And the attempts are great, but what does that also do to Kentucky? Well, it puts guys like Vanderbilt down on the bench. Washington, you get those fouls early. Richards has got 2 fouls. Gabriel's got 2 fouls. They do such a good job rotating the zone.
Wade Green tried to skip it over, but went right into the hands of Thompson. Beard up ahead. Six-point lead for Arkansas. Gilgeous-Alexander, runner. Too much, but there to finish was Kalia Jones. Long rebound into the hands of Knox on the run, trying to spin past Barford. Barford slipped down, slow to get up. Knox takes advantage.
That entire possession, you look at Barford, that's a quick shot from 3. They didn't need it.
He'll stay with Arkansas.
And when you take a quick 3 and it's a long rebound, you've got a numbers situation. Then once he slipped and fell, a great job by Knox to space out and get the clean look from the corner.
Knox has 2 3-pointers in this first half. Remember, Arkansas jumped out 11-zip to open this game. Gafford got himself in trouble there, and then the foul be charged on Trey Thompson.
Really good job rotation-wise by Kevin Knox to jump into that passing lane.
This will be a 1-and-1. Gafford will take a seat.
I think if you're Kentucky, with the way this game started, you're actually ecstatic right now.
Absolutely. For a young group that has been so fickle. I mean, we've been so many of these games this year with Kentucky where they're really on the learn and figuring things out. But to bounce back and settle down in a road environment like this has been impressive.
20 of the 32 points have come off the bench.
As Knox gives Kentucky their first lead of the night. Rattles out for Jones. Rebound by Washington.
If you're Kentucky here, one of the things I'd look for is Washington down low on the block. Got to see if you can get him. They're looking at him right at that time, and Kevin Knox wants the ball back because he wants to get him. He's got a mismatch.
See if he can get the entry. There is Washington. They double him out to Gilgeous-Alexander. Back to Knox for 3. Long rebound and secured by Thomas. Make it on the drive, fouled as he went up. This gives us a chance to check in with everybody's favorite cinephile, Adnan Ver. ACC action coming your way. When it comes to Lenardi's bracketology, ACC projected to get 10 in, but look at the SEC there with 8. And who knows, as this thing could be ticking at 9. Right now, he's got Arkansas as a 9 seed, Kentucky as a 6 seed as it stands.
Well, and then the Big 12 with 8 as well. All 3 of those conferences at the top, that would be a record for number of teams to get into the field for the NCAA tournament. Now, to go back to Seth Greenberg, because I never want Coach to feel as if I'm not listening to him. I mean, he might have wanted to know that they were going to break and not coming right back to me, but that's a whole other issue. But, Coach, that's the question for Kentucky, right? Is sustainability. Can they bring this effort for a full 40 minutes? You know, they came out flat, and sometimes their offense test when it starts to struggle, and there's going to be a period of time in the second half where their offense struggles. Will it impact their defense? Will it impact the ability to rebound the basketball and finish off possessions?
And Macon gives Arkansas the lead back after Kentucky took it on a 7-0 run for their first lead of the day. There's the Kentucky resume as it stands, Sean.
The quality of wins, not necessarily what you're accustomed to see for Kentucky, but that is in large part because of the strength of this conference.
When you talk about this conference, keep in mind the SEC has 11 teams ranked in the top 75 of RPI, 13 teams in the top 60 in strength of schedule. That is first among conferences.
And that's why we have that you look at it in the catchphrase that you're going to hear a lot of between now and the Selection Sunday. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2 victories. And nobody has more than the SEC.
And Beard puts down a 3. Well, he is the other part of the senior backcourt leadership. You know all about Barford and Macon. Leah Jones unable to get it to go. Here's Macon on the go. Through the lane and denied at the rim. Macon came in last year as a JUCO transfer. He has been sensational this season. Beard again.
Coach
8 points now and a couple of threes.
And Coach Cal just puts his hands to his side because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't even contest the shot even though he was standing right there.
Too much muscle from Quade Green. Boy, he's feeling it.
A little too much.
Not bashful at all after hitting a couple. Final minute and a half of what's been a greatly entertaining first half with the Kentucky comeback. And now the Arkansas hot hands. A lot of contact that time as Nick Richards went up for the Ute.
That was a wonderful pressure release by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And because he back cut, he was able to find Nick Richards. And the defense had to step off the big fella.
Foul charge to Trey Thompson. Richards shooting 1-1. As Gafford will check back in. Thompson will take a seat. Kansas and Texas Tech could determine the Big 12 regular season title on Saturday. That's the Saturday primetime presented by AT&T. And then Duke hosting Syracuse. Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy.
I am so excited for that Texas Tech Kansas game. We think about how the Red Raiders have put themselves.
Hall got a slap at it. Kentucky got it back. Richards. And underneath, a really nice job by P.J. Washington.
The points in the paint have been key for Kentucky.
Washington has 8. Shot fake. Hall gives it to the corner. Jones. And the rebound, and now on the go is Knox. Able to finish with that move in the right hand. And that is 11 points for Kevin Knox.
And plus 10 in the paint right now for Kentucky over Arkansas.
40-40. Timeout for Arkansas. Knox ties it up for the Cats.
From Kevin Knox, what a first half he's had. Not shooting the ball exceptionally well, but he has been very aggressive in transition. He's traveled a couple of times. He picked up a couple personal fouls, but 11 points on 3 of 9 shooting. 3 of 4, though, from the free throw line.
Kentucky's leading scorer, leads them in total rebounds and 3-pointers made. Of course, had that memorable game in the comeback against West Virginia when he put in 34.
That was just silly.
They're down by 17 on that night. That was sloppy. Washington secures it, and then on the go, finishes and the foul.
Well, if you're going to foul there, you better foul hard enough to make sure he's not able to extend up and get the easy finish.
Well, it's 6'7", 236 against Macon. He's going to.
Just reaching out and trying to tap the ball. That's not good enough by Macon.
He's going to go right through that.
Think about this. Kentucky was down 11-0 to start this game.
And then all of a sudden they roar back, had that 7-0 run to take their first lead in a first half that after a team had an 11-zip lead has been tied 5 times in 5 lead changes. Macon, cross it over, put it through. How about it, Daryl Macon?
Oh, he just sat him down and stole the momentum to the break.
What a half. 14 for Macon. Laura.
Coach, considering the way this game started, how is it tied at halftime?
I have no idea, but I know this. I didn't think we were going to score. We were looking like it was going to be 40. But the good news is these teams kept fighting. We made some shots. We're getting more aggressive. This is a challenge. This is a good team we're playing.
Thanks, Coach.
He says he has no idea. Hey, we love it any which way. 11 points for Knox for the Cats. 14 for Macon with 4 made 3-pointers. 43-43. The Alfa Romeo halftime report comes up following this short commercial break. Stay with us. See on ESPN. Arkansas jumped out to that 11-zip start, led for 16 and a half of the 20 minutes. But look at what we have here, 43-43, all tied up with Kentucky. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham with you here in Fayetteville. Let's talk about the senior backcourt for the Hawks.
Well, it's what we started at the top of the broadcast. These two players have been the leaders all season long for Arkansas, and it is no different tonight. And both of them found success early from beyond the arc. But Barford doing what he does best, attacking, being aggressive, getting a piece of the paint, making so smooth from deep. 4 of 7. Now, remember, Kentucky's the best 3-point defensive team in the conference. And right now, Arkansas 42% in the first half. But the story of the first half was the Kentucky bench. Plus 21 test. And it's not just about being plus 21. They shot over 60% from the field. So the number of efficiency for the bench is the reason why they were able to erase that 11-point deficit.
You mentioned Kentucky defending against the 3. They have not allowed 10-plus threes in any SEC game this year. Arkansas has 8 right now. They also haven't allowed a team to shoot over 40% from 3, as Gaffney couldn't get it to drop, tried to track it down. Arkansas is shooting over 42% from 3 right now. Let's check in with Laura.
Well, Joe Tess, Mike Anderson at halftime saying they've got to rebound to get this game going up and down the court. That favors how they want to play and their pace a little bit more. Also saying may stick with the starters a little bit longer. Not as happy with the bench production.
Kentucky with a +6 advantage in rebounding, and they trailed in rebounding 6-1 early on. Well off the mark that time. Short corner. But back in the hands of Gilgeous-Alexander, who takes it on the drive and is fouled.
We look at the final 16 and a half minutes of the first half. And Kentucky, 57% shooting, much of that coming from the bench, and then their domination inside. They are plus 12 in the paint. And a good start for them on their opening possession. I love the fact that they were able to get the offensive rebound, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't settle. And he's not worried about the length. He's not worried about the shot blocking underneath. Instead, drives right in the lane and gets the foul, knocks down 2 free throws.
He has 6 points tonight. Stafford picked up his second on the night. Here's Macon matched up with Washington. Put it a little too low at the feet of the 6'11" Gafford, who then secures it. And Barford came flying in there.
The first two
This is
possessions
gonna
of
be
Tess haven't been great for Arkansas.
3 on Richards.
You had Gafford on the first one, get a good deep post position, and then just throw it over the top of the iron, and that time out of control, didn't handle the pass very well at all.
So Barford goes to the line. He's the only player in the SEC who ranks in the top 5 in three-point field goal percentage and points per game, field goal percentage.
It's a weird year in the SEC too, as far as who's the conference player of the year.
It's a good question.
I mean, by now you've kind of always had a really good idea of who it's going to be. Yante Mayton might deserve it as much as anybody in the conference. His numbers are outstanding. But you can throw Barford, Macon, Grant Williams has struggled a little bit as of late.
Good feed inside and the foul as Kevin Knox will head to the line.
All right, this is great offense by Kentucky. A little back screen by Washington, and what made it great was the cut. The hard, quick cut by Kevin Knox. He changed speeds. Lull you to sleep, and then put on the afterburners to get to the spot. It's like being a wide receiver in football, Tess. You know, you don't. Jerry Rice wasn't necessarily the quickest guy off the line of scrimmage, but he knew exactly where he wanted to be, and then he would change pace and get to that spot.
Daniel, the dunker. He has more dunks than 4 SEC teams have totaled. His 55th of the year.
His length, his size, and obviously a point of emphasis coming out of the break. Remember, Laura told us in the first half about the long shots that Arkansas was attempting. Here we go to the start of the second half, and it's about getting the ball inside to Gafford. Mike Anderson's team listening to the halftime talk.
If you've been watching the steady ascent in the midst of the conference season, Gafford, you have been impressed. He just keeps getting better and better. Extra pass that time. Nearly bounced back in off the deflection. Into the hands of Barford, over to Macon and through the lane. And he will head to the strike.
Well, you know what's happening. As soon as they get the ball, they get out in transition, and they're looking for a seam. Macon so smooth. Soft touch. And the swipe down from Quade Green. The same thing I said earlier, though, about Macon is if you're going to foul there, you've got to foul hard enough so that they cannot get to the rim.
And he's already at his season average. 17 points tonight for Daryl Macon. And look at what they have combined for.
Well, Tess, and think about this with Macon. 8 out of the last 9 games, he's broken the 20-point barrier. He's well on his way to do it again tonight.
Just had 20 this past weekend against A&M. Knox puts it through. He has 16 himself, Sean.
He's going to get over 20 as well. How smooth is that release?
See if they can feed Gafford here. They've given it a look. So he's been battling side to side underneath with P.J. Washington.
And they're going to get Washington with the foul as he's trying to stay in front. I thought it was pretty good defense by P.J. Washington, to be honest with you, Tess.
Green right behind Beard. Whoa, swatted away by Gafford. Washington denied on the follow. And then he earns it when they feed him. As Washington can't believe it. Look at this defensively.
Well, that was a spike off the backboard, and then he comes right back into the play. and blocks P.J. Washington. He was on SportsCenter last week. Top 10 play. He got the block at one end and then did the monster windmill at the other one. I just thought to myself, if that happens when we get to Fayetteville, Tess would throw the headset down on the table, run around like an N1 mixtape out of the floor.
I would have needed oxygen. That was unbelievable what he did last week, and defensively he just put on a show. All tied up. Been a fun night here in Fayetteville. Thomas, 17-footer, puts it right down.
Look at the space though again. Nobody around him, Tess, as he curled off to the elbow.
Gabriel on the finish from SGA.
They caught Arkansas sleeping on the back line right there. Nice job. Gabriel moving without the basketball to put himself in that position.
Tied up again. 9th tie of the night. Turnover into the hands of Hami Diallo.
Remember in the first half, he picked up the offensive foul. He changed his angle ever so slightly that time, and because of the angle change and getting back towards the middle portion of the floor, Thomas wasn't set.
And for Thomas, that is his 4th. ACC Sonic Blockbuster doubleheader comes your way Wednesday. Number 10 North Carolina and Syracuse at 7 Eastern, and then from Cameron Indoor, it's Louisville taking on Duke. North Carolina looking for their 6th straight win against Syracuse. They have won 6 straight overall right now. Beard on the curl, the runner.
One of the things Arkansas does well offensively, they just space you out, Tess. They create seams and driving lanes.
Double digits for Anton Beard.
If you're hugging your man defensively and you're guarding Arkansas, you're going to give up space. And when you give up space, you're giving up points.
Knox off the glass, follow, wouldn't go. Up ahead, Macon. Pinned by Knox, count it. Goaltending. 19 points now for Daryl Macon. And Arkansas retakes the lead. Our 8th lead change of the night. We got a good one here, folks.
North Carolina.
Well, the big news from the NCAA came in today with the ruling that Louisville's appeal is denied, and thus their 2013 tournament title is vacated. The national championship that the Cardinals won on the court were taken away. You know the scandal and the soap opera that took place through recent years. It was interesting to hear from Luke Hancock, who was the 2013 Final Four most outstanding player, and his reaction. He says, I don't care about the perception. I don't think it changes that much. We won those games. It's not like it never happened.
Well, it's been erased, and the banner will come down. I'm not a big vacate wins guy. Okay, take, for example, my freshman year at UCLA. We lost to Bobby Jackson's Minnesota team that goes on to the Final Four. They later vacated that Final Four appearance. Well, I didn't turn in my Pac-10 championship ring, an Elite 8 ring.
I'm pretty sure you were there.
And get a Final Four ring because we didn't get there. We lost in the Elite 8. It doesn't change what happened out on the floor.
The season happened.
Michigan doesn't get a national championship now. I saw one of the best tweets of the day, though, said UCF has now claimed the national championship for 2013.
There's going to be a parade in the Magic Kingdom. A little oop for Vanderbilt, and once again, we're tied.
Right now, Arkansas is having problems on their back line of their defense. They're doing a great job pressuring out on the ball, but because they're swarming, their rotations are a little bit slow on the back line. That's allowing Kentucky to throw it to the rim.
Of course, Kentucky is so long. Wenyon Gabriel on the drive. He was denied by Barford there.
national test at halftime. I'm walking in the back here at Bud Walton Arena, and a couple of guys are sitting there talking. They said, you know what, we were up 11-0. I thought we were going to have fun all night long. And the other guy said, no chance. You look at Kentucky, everybody they bring off their bench is 6'11". He might be exaggerating a little bit, but the length of this team still exists, and that's one of the talking points we've had since the beginning of the year. It should benefit them on the glass. It should benefit them in the paint. So far tonight, they're +9 in rebounds, and they're +13 in the paint. Or, excuse me, 23 in the paint. Math was never my strong point.
Good enough. Knox for the lead. Slapped away by Diallo. And then feeds underneath, and Thompson denies. Macon now. And he had Gilgeous-Alexander right in his face.
That is such a poor shot, though, by Macon.
Really was, wasn't it?
It's a tie game. You just had two great blocks at the defensive end of the floor. Value the possession.
Gabriel kicks out Diallo. Here comes Beard up ahead, Macon. And he will finish. And what a night for Macon. 14th 20-plus point game this year, 17th in his career. Beard again. Macon fanning out. Beard's gonna take it and put it right through. Anton Beard, hog wild in Fayetteville. Gabriel responds.
Well, Coach Cal originally said he wanted a timeout. That's why you saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stop and look to Cal. There was some confusion. That confusion might have helped open up the offense for Wenyen Gabriel.
Confusion that time, as he was thinking that Hall was cutting back up for relief.
Daryl Macon, after the bad shot, hey, looks, my bad. I don't like my bads. A good way to erase my bads are by getting out in the next possession and making it my good. And that's exactly what Macon did.
21 points on 7 of 12 shooting, 4 3-pointers for Macon. Knox, and we are tied up again.
Kevin Knox just continues to put himself in a great position. Really strong start to the second half for Kevin Knox.
Saboyan, the spin, Gabriel right there with him. Knox pushing now. And off the glass. And a 20-point night for Kevin Knox. And a 2-point lead for the Cats.
And he's got 9 in the first 8 minutes here in the second half. Kevin Knox doing all he can right now offensively. It's a 7-0 run for Kentucky. They got the lead back after Bud Walton was buzzing. They're up by 2.
Completely locked in, Berkey. We want to show you what Joe Lunardi says is going down with the SEC when it comes to who could get in. He says 8 as of right now. Keep in mind the SEC is 6 teams in the RPI top 25. That's first among conferences. I think it's going to be fascinating just to see how things play out with the SEC tournament. Who knows how the seeding could go there. Remember, South Carolina just upset Auburn. And Auburn lost McLemore for the season. So now they're injured. Quade Green on the other end for Kentucky.
And that's going to be a foul on Nick Richards. So the basket will be good. But Richards with the forearm. It's now a 9-0 run for the Cats. Arkansas needs the timeout again to figure it out. 4 straight made field goals for Kentucky.
Hey,
right now from the jump. Stop trying to steal the ball. Guard. You got to guard. That's the key is we got to come up with those rebounds down there. All right? Now, keep the ball hot, keep the ball moving, and people moving.
Arkansas's Mike Anderson pushing his guys. Perhaps the golden living statues will be moved by even that message. Laura.
Tess, more recently from Mike Anderson's huddle, still emphasizing the rebounds and singling out his guards, saying, I need you guys to get offensive rebounds, and telling his team defensively, no easy shots for them, telling them we need multiple stops, but take it one stop at a time.
Kentucky's +2 on the offensive glass tonight. Thompson feeds it in, and underneath is Gafford. Gafford with 9 points tonight, 4 rebounds, had a couple of great blocks earlier in this half. Washington against Hall. Barford tries to double, out to Gilgeous-Alexander for 3. Macon in the lane, and his hot hand continues.
Every single time Kentucky scores, Macon has been able to come back down and kind of reestablish the offensive flow for Arkansas. They've got to start stringing together some stops, though, Tess. First half, beginning of this game, they were flying around defensively. They're not. Remember one of the keys I said, they got to play for a full 40. Right now, they've taken some possessions off. They haven't been nearly as active as they've been earlier.
Washington's pass deflected, shot clock down to 3. And in from SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hits double digits, and maintaining a 5-point lead is Kentucky. Into Gafford, denied by Vanderbilt, and he chases it down. And he was fouled by Thompson, and he's going to be walking.
Just a great job by Jared Vanderbilt, hustling, making plays. His energy, he's just looking so much more comfortable than he was a couple of weeks ago when he returned to the court and he was forcing the action. Now I think he's really established who he is. He's a very good rebounder. He's opportunistic at the offensive end of the floor. He's got 8 and 6 tonight, Tess.
Good, consistent effort. We've been looking for that balance on the offensive side. His first 17 games of the year with that left foot injury with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, look at him work the glass.
Just great energy. He sets the screen on the play against the zone. He screens the middle of the zone, and that allows Washington to step right over the top of him and get a good, clean look. And then he was so aggressive on his screen that he actually put Arkansas underneath the rim. No opportunity to get a rebound when you're standing underneath the iron.
Reminder that Sports Center will be coming your way after we finish things up. Anthony Davis on what might have been. Levy and Melrose will have special guests Ovechkin and Mike Gundy. Do we have a mullet-themed Levy's Lounge tonight?
I like that.
It's coming up next on Sports Center.
There's something outside the box.
Alex Ovechkin and Mike Gundy on the same show? I would say so. Largest lead of the night for Kentucky. Barford turns around. Back rim tapped by Gafford out, and it'll be Kentucky ball.
That was really good on-ball defense by Kevin Knox. Barford got off to a really hot start, Tess. but he is just now 3 of 11 shooting, 3 of 12 shooting on the game.
Had a couple of threes early on.
The length of Kentucky's bothering him.
Understandable. Crowd looking for a stop here and a little momentum for their Hogs. Knocked away, and it'll stay with Big Blue.
Gilgeous-Alexander stepped right into the corner. Nobody was there.
Here he is over Gafford. Aiken got a little sloppy as he crossed over, and possession arrow is going to be with Arkansas.
Just get a sense right now, Arkansas has lost its flow offensively, Tess. I mean, even that possession there, open floor where usually Macon is really at his best. A little bit too aggressive on the drive, going a little bit too fast, gets himself out of control, and then ends up losing it and making it a jump ball. A lot of times they're going to look for a three-point shot off of this. You're going to see Justin Thomas released to the elbow area. He catches the ball right there, a little handoff. Good job defensively, not a lot of movement that time for Arkansas.
Beard splitting defenders and then lost the ball, and it came off of him. They're getting a little restless here at Bud Walton Arena.
For as loud as this building was in the first half, it has gotten very quiet here in the second.
And for Mike Anderson, that Razorback Cardinal colored blazer is off. Time to get to work defensively for Arkansas, but this Kentucky team has impressed. Good feed from Knox. Denial. Gafford fighting for the ball, and it'll stay on this end. Kentucky enjoying a 7-point margin in a tough place to play on the road.
Finished the first half with 11. Had 9 in the first 8 minutes, and a lot of it is because of movement without the basketball, and you just see him reading the defense and taking what they're giving him and allowing him to have success. Part of the reason why Barford's struggling offensively, because he's chasing Kevin Knox around at the offensive end of the floor as well.
Here's Quade Green. Just rattles out. Nice tap out. It was Knox who did it, and now Knox who puts it down. He earned it every which way, and Kentucky has their largest lead of the night. They stretch it to 10.
Tess, listen how quiet this building is.
Well, a 21-point swing will do that. Gilgeous-Alexander. How about more from Kentucky? 14 points for Shea.
Everything that went right in the early stages of the game for Arkansas, and as well as they were playing, Tess, right now, that's what Kentucky's doing.
And Knox with a defensive rebound off the Gafford miss.
They're not giving up offensive rebounds. Offensively, they're being patient. They're finding good quality shots.
Laura?
Well, guys, we just saw Kevin Knox do this on that defensive rebound, but one of the emphasis in the huddle from Coach Cal was two-handed rebounds, specifically to Kevin Knox, saying don't lose your intensity down the stretch here. Wants to see this entire team rebound, but specifically singling out Knox with the two hands on the rebounds.
Well, right now he's got 6 rebounds, Laura, to go with those 23 points, and Kentucky overall plus 13 on the glass. They have done an outstanding job limiting those second chance looks that came early and often. They had 5 offensive rebounds and 7 second chance points in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Arkansas hasn't scored in the last 4+ minutes. Macon with a chance to help that cause.
And you have plenty of time if you're Arkansas here. You don't need to panic. This is a great opportunity for you to kind of find your rhythm once again at the offensive end of the floor. But to me, it goes back to the defensive end. And that's what makes Arkansas so good in this building. And they defend. They usually make their opponents uncomfortable. But right now, we talked about this in the first half when we were playing with the toys on the sideline with Mike Anderson. The disruption factor. Right now, Arkansas is not disrupting Kentucky and what they want to do.
And instead it was Kentucky toying with Arkansas, that 10-0 run that they just had. In a place where these fans usually haven't had looks like this. 14-1 at home this year, Arkansas. And 3 of their better wins came at home against ranked teams at the time. Number 14, Minnesota, they had that one here. Beat Tennessee here in overtime. And then beat up A&M pretty solid this weekend.
It looked like it could be a steal opportunity. Instead, it's going to be free throws for Kentucky.
It's 3 on Beard.
One of the big reasons for Arkansas' struggles here in the second half, too, Tess, is we mentioned it. Kentucky hasn't given up 10 made three-pointers in a single game this season. They gave up 8 in the first half. Arkansas only has 1 so far this half.
Yeah. Cal was a believer. You know, they lost the 4 straight. Then they came back and had the win. He says, hey, my team's getting better, and that's all I can ask. So they can tell that they're trying to get into a rhythm, and they're finding it. Boy, did they find it after that slow start early tonight. They roared back after being down 11-zip. Gafford, as that was deflected away for a moment.
Even on that one, Gafford has such a size advantage. It should be a dunk. It shouldn't be, all right, still Arkansas's ball and you got to work it. That should have been a dunk.
Tried to leave it for Gafford that time. And now Vanderbilt's running. Leaves it for Green. Vanderbilt right there. And Kentucky still with it as Green came away with it. 17-10 edge in offensive rebounds. See how good they've been in this second half of hitting the glass. Green. Vanderbilt again. Mike Anderson is wired for us.
Listen up, we're back to playing how we used to play, trying to win with offense. And we ain't playing no defense down there end. It's amazing how they can do anything they want to. We're playing one-on-one basketball now. Now, are you tired? I'll get you out of here. Now, let's settle down now.
It's amazing how they can do anything they want to, he says.
And Tess, that's exactly what I was just talking about. If they want to get back in the game, they got to reestablish their will and their ability to disrupt at the defensive end. They have not done that at all here in the second half.
And this was, coming into tonight, the hottest team in the SEC.
Well, this is the SEC this year, though, right?
Sure is. A league that has everyone bunched up. 9 teams within 2 games of each other.
Well, and the pivotal part of this is trying to make sure you get a top 4 seed. Gives you that bye all the way through to Friday, the quarterfinals. In St. Louis this year. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to miss Nashville.
Well, St. Louis will put on a good show, Sean. I assure you of that. Making good body control as he went up and was fouled. Let's check in with Laura.
Well, guys, one of the things that this Razorbacks team had talked about coming into this game, Jalen Barford said this would be a dream come true to beat Kentucky, something he and Daryl Macon have never done during their time here at Arkansas. This one means so much to them. They called it a special rivalry and said they were so excited about the confidence they were coming into this game with because they feel like they have a big chance against this Kentucky team.
Of course, last year we were all down in Nashville when it was this Arkansas team being taken down by Kentucky in the SEC tournament, and that game got really chippy
and Moses
in the final minute and a half.
Moses Kingsley ends up getting ejected out of the game. Dusty Hannas
making baseline, reverse denied. Four and a half to play. 13-point lead, 24-point swing for Kentucky. Good drive that time by Gilgeous-Alexander. Moment of hesitation, and then the acceleration. He has 16.
Earlier in the game, though, Tess, their help side rotations there. They're plugging that hole. Right now, they're not. They're slow. They're a step slow in their rotations, and when you're a step slow, you give up 2.
Incredible the way Kentucky just roared back and took on the challenge here on the road. Green from the corner, trying to play beat the clock that time. Up ahead, Barford. And put away by Gabriel. Arkansas is 0 for their last 5. They haven't made a field goal in over 6 minutes. Macon was looking for contact there.
And the people are starting to walk out of the building here at Bud Walton.
Understandable, man. What the Cats were able to do here in this second half. You know, there have been a few times this year, Sean. I remember what people were saying after the comeback against West Virginia, a few other times, that, all right, is that the one where Kentucky gets it, where it all gels, where they've grown up and they know who they are? Knox, long ball, back of the neck there. And time again, we've seen the inconsistencies, but it's about getting right at the right time when March is coming upon us. Where are they in your eyes?
I'm not ready to say that they're there yet, because they've lacked that consistency that you're talking about. But what you do like is the fact that you've got 5 Kentucky Wildcats in double figures tonight, and they've seized complete control here in the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
Now, these are the SEC standings. Mississippi State beat A&M tonight. And they now have 8 wins. You know, everybody, we talked about them being bunched up. Mizzou was red hot, having won 5 straight, then lost to LSU this past Saturday. And now they're sitting there at 8-6. Georgia, who you don't see listed there, beat Tennessee this past weekend. Prior to that, beat Florida. It is going to be a fascinating run to St. Louis in the SEC.
Yeah, so much still to be determined. And when you look at the records right now, too, Kentucky, this score holds up in the final 2:30. They move to 8-7, just like Mississippi State. Arkansas falls back to 8-7.
We mentioned earlier that Joe Lunardi, coming into tonight, had Kentucky as a 6 seed, Arkansas as a 9. SEC is #1, first among all conferences when it comes to having 6 RPI top 25 teams.
I'm not sure what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was looking at there.
There hasn't been much to complain about with him in this second half. He has 16 points, 5-11 shooting, 2 threes. And the bench has been phenomenal for Big Blue.
Tess, they are plus 30 off the bench tonight. Plus 30. I mean, the numbers just speak for themselves. Quade Green, Jared Vanderbilt, P.J. Washington, the efficiency in which they've played with. And then a great keynote for as far as how comfortable Kentucky's been in the second half. They've assisted on 9 of their 10 made field goals. First half, at times, it was isolation basketball, and it was trying to do too much. The second half, it hasn't been about that. It's been about the team. It's been about making the extra pass, finding your teammate open on the back line of the defense, getting good quality looks.
Remember how Barford started this game compared to what we just saw there. It was Barford and Macon giving them that 11-zip lead early on with 3 3-pointers, and then Kentucky settled down, chipped away, and then really pulled away consistently for most of the second half. The feed that time to P.J. Washington. He has 13 tonight.
Now 16 assists on 30 made field goals for Kentucky. A very impressive performance by the Wildcats. They've got Missouri in Lexington coming up on Saturday.
Missouri will be in Lexington for a game on ESPN at 8:15. Arkansas with a tough trip down to Alabama. That game on the SEC network. And life in the SEC, this is what it looks like now, folks. Hottest team was Arkansas. Kentucky had lost 4 straight. They got the bounce back win Saturday against Alabama, and then this very impressive win here on the road tonight in a place where Mike Anderson's team has been so good.
The question is now for Kentucky. Cal was saying this the whole time during the losing streak. He says, look, SEC is tough this year. You go through these losing streaks. You just got to win one. Well, they won one, and if this is how they're going to play the rest of the season, I think they're going to be smiling in Lexington.
A 26-point swing for Kentucky, led by Knox's 23. Gilgeous-Alexander goes for 18, Washington 13, and Green 12. Kentucky, their 8th win in the SEC, 19th overall. Just the 2nd team to win here at Bud Walton this season. 87-72 over Arkansas. Enjoy the rest of your night, including SportsCenter right now.